Hey, what's up, y'all? This is some crazy mess here. I'm hearing a lot lately, and I'm gonna do a poem for y'all, and it's called it's called Poetry, aka Pretty J. Kisses, right? And what this topic is about the famous poets and the legends. And then after the legends, it's the poets right now. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote this poem and it goes a little something like this. Hey, what's good? I understand that you a poet, but poets are understood that we live up to the highest mountain. We drive cars, but we drive loud. We drive buses too. But at the same time, I want to thank Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou, Common, Tab Kweli, Most Def, even Russell Simmons for letting us poets freestyle a bit. But understand this: the legends that are like the greatest legends ever is Frank Sinatra, Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou, especially Maya Angelou, man. Give it up for Maya Angelou, y'all. Yeah, Maya Angelou. I want to thank the greatest poets ever because without them, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to write how we feel if it wasn't for Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, Frank Sinatra. Even though he's a musician, but still, the music and the jazz flow through poetry. Like, I'm gonna give y'all some insight. Poetry started in Harlem, New York. Originated from Brooklyn, I think. I think so. But no, originated from Harlem. Take that back. Originated from Harlem, New York, and it started back in the 1940s, 1930s. But inside of all that, I've learned that I studied many poets. I've studied Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou, Frank Sinatra, Common, Tab Kweli, Most Def, Russell Simmons, the HBO person that does Def Jam. I studied him. I studied Jasmine Mans, Joshua Bennett, Kai Davis, a whole bunch of people. I studied Vimo. Shout out to Vimo, I love you. Vimo, Danny, man, I'm actually studying poets that I haven't even seen that are so bomb. Like, shout out to J. Renee Music. She's a poet, but shout out to you. Shout out. I like to give shout outs because shout outs are like the most funnest thing ever. But I got off topic because I got off the topic of the poem, but this is not about the poem. But I'm just saying some stuff right now because I'm off topic. I'm so hyped. But anyway, poetry is so unique in so many different ways. Like, you act like you just do what you gotta do. What is it that you love about poetry? Poetry is just poetry. Poetry can be heartbreaking. Poetry can be love. Poetry can be realness. Poetry can be like about death. Poetry can be about anything. It's just poetry is just real. Like, real unique in some type of ways. You just making you feel like, man, man, I'm bomb, I'm tight like this. I got the little poetry ish. I don't give a care what people say about this ish, but I do poetry on my veins. Like, make sure I'm insane, and I go insane. Like, I go hard for everything. I go in Crayola rain, but see how I with that flow? I with the flow, and I just did with it. I've been writing poetry since I was 10 years old, And I'm not. Yeah, I've been writing poetry since I was 10 years old, and for me, it all enhanced it of me being real with myself, letting people know how I feel. I mean, some people don't know how I really feel. I mean, I go and I just write sometimes. It depends on the way I feel in that moment, you know. So I mean, I like literally this video was to actually thank the poets. Thanks to Langston Hughes. Rest in peace to Langston Hughes. Shout out to Maya Angelou, who's still living. Shout out to Joshua Bennett, Jasmine Mans, Zora Howard, what's his name? Miles Hughes, Zora Howard, Jasmine Mans, Alyssa, shout out to you. Sorry I don't know your last name, but Alyssa, anybody who's a poet in life. I mean, shout out to Mos Def, shout out to Common, shout out to Tab Kweli, shout out to Def Jam, shout out to Brave New Voices, shout out to Nick's Poetry Slam, shout out to Imprinted Souls who does poetry. I mean, I love you guys. I love to study you guys. Like, y'all just inspire me, so keep it up. Alright.